Okay, so I picked up my brand new TM7 yesterday after a bit of training, and I've got to set it up. So I thought I might as well film this and show you what to do. I'm learning with you, so permission to be clunky, okay? So I know this is the power button. It's a good start, she says. Oh, helps if you have the power turned on there. Here we are. Isn't it beautiful? So I've got that. So the lid is quite different. All right. It just has, so there's no hole. You can't put your spatula down there, but you can still drizzle things down. This is called the lid cap. And that just sits on top like that. But again, there's still holes for steam to escape and for you to drizzle things down. Butterfly, just black. Simmering basket is also black. And the spatula is quite big. So the spatula actually fits. Oh, here we go. Start. Select your language. I don't know if you can see this very well. Anyway, basically, select your language. Let's find it. English, Australia, which is exactly what we had to do on TM6. Country is Australia. Safety instructions, only use official accessories, okay? So there's always safety instructions to have a look at. Don't use it on a hob. No, don't do that. If it was boiling over, you stop it pushing the power button down here. Do not overfill. It is 2.2 litres. The bowl is the same size as a TM6 bowl. It is different, and I will show you that in a minute, but let's keep going here. Lock knife and insulation properly. So the sharp knife can cut you. Ensure that the slider is fully closed. This is all to do with opening the bowl. Oh, look, let me show it to you first. So the bowl, it is insulated, it is heavier, but it does mean that even when it's hot, you can actually hold this bowl even when it's when the contents are hot, sorry. Hot. But the really cool thing here is removing the blades. So instead of having to do anything underneath here, all you do is this little lever here, and that will pull your blade. You can then pull your blades out, and you can also pull the bowl out. So that's the insulated bit. That's the bowl. So pop it back in the right way, I think. I don't know if there is a right or a wrong way. We'll just have to fiddle around with this. What might become? Of course there's a right way. Look at this. That is part of the handle. So that goes back to the handle, and that sits in properly. I pop my blades back in. It says, told you it'd be a bit clunky. And then all I do is switch that back the other way, fairly firm. And there we go. Blades won't fall out. So how easy is that? All right, I'm just going to pop it back on. Cool. All right, back to the screen. Next, read all instructions. So the TM7 does not have a recipe book that comes with it, and it doesn't have an instruction manual like sorry, it does have those things, but they are all on the machine already. So there's no book as such. There's 200 recipes loaded onto there. All right. All right, connect your Wi-Fi. So it's just trying to find and log into the network. And there's a little, oh, yay, logged in, log into Cookie Dough. Oh, now I've got to remember my login. Oh, scan the QR code with your phone. So let's just try this. So I'm just going to get a little form or something up here. Oh, that's interesting. It's come up in German. Maybe that's something. I can understand it though. It says it wants my email address and it wants my password for Cookie Do. I will actually try this. I've got to remember what. I think it's this one. I've got too many email addresses. Let me just. I'm actually going to go into my app and just go into my accounts. So this is obviously worth knowing at the beginning. Membership, my devices, account settings. No, don't want that. Membership. Okay. So I've got my email. So if you are looking for it, go into your membership and your email address is there. So here we go. All right, let's see if we can find that thing again. Whoops. Okay. And then I've got my password. Join. All right, just a moment. Here we are. Is now connected to your Cookie Do. Continue with the next step. So you can select your home screen. I like daily inspiration. I like organizing myself, which I actually was told that was probably the best one to do. So that gives me a few little modes here. It's got my week pre-clean tutorials, my recipes there. Or I can have just literally have all the modes on the screen. So next. So which one? I select my template. I like organizing myself. Select template. Software. How cute's that noise? Update now. Update will be installed automatically after download. All right, so whilst that's doing that, where's my spatula gone? Here it is, blending in. So let's just have a look at this. So the spatula actually, look, is perfectly made to scrape around here. Beautifully done. The other things the spatula is used for is removing the simmering basket, which we've been able to do in other Thermomixes, but it's a slightly, if you haven't had a Thermomix before, no problems at all. But if you have and you've used this, it is a slightly different angle. It's far more acute. So you're coming in, I know it took me a bit to get this the other night. I've just got to get used to the angle. So my husband actually got it in last night. That's it. So can you see how acute that angle is there? And I'm just going to grab my TM6 and my spatula, wherever I put that on there. My spatula is still dirty from something else I did. But if you have a look at that angle and you look at the TM6, totally different angle. Okay. So just be mindful when you are taking out the bowl. It is a very much steeper angle, if you like. All right. So that's that. The other thing is this bit, the tip of your spatula can be used to get under this little thing here to flip your lid open. There. Let's try. And the other thing with the spatula too is I can put it down on the bench and it still doesn't touch, and it's a bit hard to see. But there's a little bump here and that's what it sits on. Or the other way you can do it, as long as it hasn't got stuff on, like with my other spatula, you can just stand it up. Okay. So it's still keeping it off the bench and not making the bench dirty. As I said, We've got the butterfly. That's exactly the same as the other butterfly, except it's black, which is pretty cool. I think the butterflies are actually interchangeable. So I have one that is a little bit green from turmeric. I will probably just use that in here. And oh, the Varoma. So let me just pop the Varoma over. So the Varoma is 45% bigger. So for people with a large family, this is ideal. And it's a different shape. So it is rectangular. That's your base. Still got all that space there to get steam through. We've got the tray and we've got the lid. And that will just go on top of the bowl like this. There, cool. So the update is still happening there. I'm going to say, oh, the other thing with this too is with the TM6 and the TM5, you had little arms that lock the lid in place. This is magnetic. So it's a very fine magnet, but it's on like that. Okay, and it is actually held in place with a bit of a magnet, but it's not super strong. But what's it say? Oh, I can't tell don't know what that means. There's a book on here, but I'm really not quite sure what that means. So that's the underside of the lid, so that you can see that there are still gaps there for steam to come out, and you can still emulsify, mayos and things like that. All right, looks like we might be making a little bit of progress here. Let's have a look. It does have a little film on it, which I need to take off, but oh, get a little bit precious about your screen sometimes, particularly when it's brand new. Okay, still updating. So apparently what we've been told as consultants is that there will be a big update in early June. So we have a limited access at the moment, and I've got an awful lot to learn about it, I can tell you, but that's pretty much all the bits and pieces. And I might finish that up there because I've got to wait for this update. And I also need to learn a bit more probably before I can explain it to you all about the screen, but I will come back and do that.